सोचिए, आप एक ऐसे कमरे में हैं where the temperature sits at a sweltering 35 degrees Celsius. You share a room the size of a shipping container with 69 other men. The air is thick with sweat and frustration. And worst of all, you might be completely innocent. This is South Cotabato Jail in the Philippines, a facility that has long passed its breaking point and now exists in a permanent state of emergency. The math of the overcrowding is staggering. This facility was built to hold exactly 600 inmates. Today, 2,000 human beings are packed inside its walls. South Cotabato operates as a pretrial detention center. Most of the men crammed into these cells have never been convicted of a crime. They are simply waiting for a court date that may never arrive. In a system pushed this far past its limits, the agonizing wait becomes the torture.
The sentence begins the moment the cell door closes, regardless of what a future judge might decide. This population explosion was triggered in 2016. President Rodrigo Duterte launched a ruthless, nationwide war on drugs with a mandate that was brutal and uncompromising. Over 1 million suspected drug users surrendered to police in months, pouring a tidal wave of humanity into the penal system. With only 1,600 public lawyers, the courts paralyzed under 700,000 pending trials. The legal pipeline completely froze. Every delayed hearing translates into bodies pressed against these bars. Inside, the legal bottleneck manifests as a solid mass of men in yellow uniforms. Sweeping political directives created a humanitarian crisis on the ground. The state successfully swept people off the streets, only to warehouse them indefinitely without the means to provide a trial. Official control is a mathematical impossibility here. Only 5 active guards patrol the compound per shift, 20 public servants tasked with managing 2,000 desperate men. Because the guards only manage the perimeter, the inmates rule the interior. Power belongs to El Presidente, an inmate who runs the cell blocks. With a small army of marshals armed with wooden clubs, they dictate the schedule and enforce the rules. Under this internal government, basic survival is a commodity. Inmates with outside money can buy custom beds, fresh vegetables, and clean drinking water. Those without funds drink groundwater and risk tuberculosis. New arrivals enter at the very bottom of this economy. Stripped of their belongings, they are forced to sleep in the suffocating upper corners of the cells, where the heat from the tin roof is most intense. Zara socho, agar aapko bina jurm sabit hue, you were thrown into this hierarchy. To survive, you must submit to a system ignoring your rights. Every day at 5 p.m., the marshals enforce a total lockdown. For the next 12 hours, the inmates are entirely isolated, behind iron bars. If a medical emergency or a violent dispute breaks out in the dark, no official help arrives. When state authority vanishes, a predatory market takes place. Space, safety, and even the air to breathe become products that must be purchased rather than basic human rights. The women's wing holds 400 female inmates facing the exact same purgatory. Many are mothers arrested as accomplices, now spending years separated from their children, while their cases languish in the backlog. The physical overcrowding is matched by a profound psychological breakdown. Inmates wait months, years, or even decades for a verdict, their minds fracturing because they have no end date to anchor against. Inside, prisoners survive by forming makeshift families. They pool money to buy raw ingredients and cook shared meals over open flames, using these social bonds as the only defense against total despair. Stability is non-existent. Once a month, guards execute a greyhound, a chaotic surprise raid, tearing through cramped spaces to seize weapons and cell phones. These raids systematically strip away the tiny comforts inmates manage to hide. Beyond the physical crush, the real destruction happens in the mind, as the constant uncertainty and loss of privacy erode the human spirit. Saturday provides the only reprieve. Visiting day is the single mechanism keeping the population from rioting, offering a rare reason to endure the rest of the week. Security is tight, and the frisking is aggressive. But right past the checkpoint, for 3 hours, fathers touch their children through heavy iron grates, absorbing a glimpse of the life they left behind. Visiting day highlights the core tragedy of South Cotabato. Violent offenders and the entirely innocent stand together behind the same bars, paying the same heavy price for a system that has stopped moving. तो बताइए, आपका क्या विचार है?
क्या न्याय में होने वाली ये देरी is a tragic logistical failure or a deliberate outcome of the war on drugs? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. A justice system built to protect society has inadvertently mutated into a machine that warehouses thousands. It steals decades of life and shatters families, creating the very chaos it was designed to prevent.